So today I would like to talk about an experience I had about maybe 2 months ago now. And it was an experience that goes hand in hand and like demonstrated the weight loss journey so beautifully. I couldn't have planned it better, honestly. And I want to share that with you. So what happened was about a month and a half, 2 months ago, my sister for Christmas, she brought me, her, and my mom tickets to go see a show on Broadway. And the show was Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, for anybody who knows that. And this is a movie that I used to watch when I was a kid. Me and my sister used to watch this when we were growing up, and we loved it. Beautiful music, beautiful overall message in the movie. And so when it came on Broadway, my sister was like, "Yep, we're buying tickets and let's go." And so I was super excited to go to the show. This is kind of what the three of us do. It's kind of our thing that we would, we go spend and have dinner together, then we go spend the night watching a show together. So I was super excited, and we get there, and it starts, and the acting is amazing, the singing is amazing, the dancing, the nostalgia all flushed back. It was beautiful, and as the production came to an end, the main narrator of the show, they announced that this was actually their last show, and not just their last show until they go to the next city. It was their last show of the entire tour. Like, they were absolutely done. Everything that they practiced and worked for, it was done. This is their very, very last show. And when they said that, you could see all the actors get emotional. And they had little kid actors, they had, young adults, older people, they had a wide range of people. They were all getting super emotional. And as they stood on the stage, for anybody who's been to a show before, Broadway show, when the show is done, all the actors come back on stage, they all hold hands, and then they bow. And then maybe they'll do an encore when people are just cheering them on, right? And so this was happening, and all the actors came out. It was the last number of the show, so music was playing. Everybody was dancing on stage to say, thank you for coming, and we were all clapping to say thank you for putting on an amazing show. And they were bowing, and then they stood there, and they stood as the whole theater gave them a standing ovation. We were just going wild because it was so great. And as I saw these actors tear up, I started to tear up. And it wasn't because it was a beautiful show, and it wasn't because it had a great, wonderful, lighthearted message. It wasn't because, it was the last show and I was sad for them. I started crying because as I looked across the stage and I looked into each of these people's eyes, it was so beautiful. And I don't know how to describe it, because it was like all their blood, sweat, and tears culminated in this one moment, and it was bittersweet. It was so much gratitude and rejoicing for being able to go on this experience and go on this journey of being casted for the show, doing the grueling training hours to audition and make it, and then practice after practice and show after show and failure, and get back up and keep going, and even perform on a rough day. Like, all these blood, sweat, and tears these people had to go to put on such a successful show and tour. And it was all done just like that. And I could almost see the entire experience they went through just in their eyes. And I stood there, and there were tears in my eyes, because I looked from face to face, and they all were just looking into the audience, just full of gratitude and pride. Like, so proud that I got here, and so thankful that I could. And a little bit of sadness because it's all over, just like that. And you see, we all rush to a journey, we all rush to an end point, right? We all rush to be able to say we performed 20 shows in 20 nights, right? Or I performed on a Broadway show and I did a full tour. We all rush for these accomplishments. But when we get there, all we think about is the road it took us to get there. And it's not so exciting, and it's not the main event anymore, the accomplishing the thing. It was working towards accomplishing this thing that had ended up having the most meaning after all of this. And it was so beautiful to watch this perfectly summed up, because life is all about those let it sink in moments. And that's what these actors were doing. They had this huge standing ovation of people clapping and whistling, and they were just taking it all in, letting it all sink in, everything that it took to get to this point. And in that moment, I realized that's what life is about. Searching for these let it sink in moments of, holy smokes, I made it. But boy, am I more excited to tell the journey it took to get here than I am to tell the accomplishment that I made. And you see, weight loss is a journey to be experienced, not a destination to be reached. It's not about you losing the weight. It's not about, oh, I lost the weight. It's about what happened along the way to get there. Who did you become as you went through the different phases? What did you learn about yourself? What was uncovered that you didn't know? Who did you prove to yourself that you were? What amazing, tough things did you have to do to get here? So it's not this destination that must be reached. We must lose the weight. No, 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 no. You don't need to lose weight. You need to experience the journey of what weight loss can bring to your life, because it is beautiful. And I have seen it happen hundreds of times with women personally, as I personally coach them. I've seen their lives transform, and I've seen them, battle with the old thought process of, I want to get to my goal. And then their new transformative self of, I just want to embrace every step of this. Because if you're always working for the next best thing, do you ever really reach it? Or do you keep missing it because you're not enjoying the present, and the present is the greatest thing? And health is a lifestyle. It's not an endpoint, right? We don't get healthy. It's staying healthy. It's not getting healthy. It's staying healthy. And it's not something that is accomplished and then forgotten. And it was just so beautiful when I was there in that theater, looking at these actors' faces, crying, tears rolling down their faces, just letting it sink in of everything that it took to get to this beautiful moment. And that's what I felt so emotionally moved, because that's what I want to be on my deathbed. I want to have that let it sink in moment. Like, holy smokes, what a ride. What a ride. I did that. That happened to me. That's my story. I pushed through that. I overcame that. I defied all odds. To me, that's what a weight loss journey is about. And a weight loss journey is a life journey, is a personal growth journey, is a self-improvement journey. It's finding who you really are, because that weight weighs on you, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Fat is a layer between you and the world. Literally, it is a complete layer between you and the world. This layer is diluting you. This layer is distracting you. This layer is stopping the sensations and the messages from the universe from truly reaching you, and you hearing and being in tune with the energy around you. That is why I'm so passionate about losing weight. And that is why I only like working with women who understand how important it is to get this weight off of you. Not just for the sake of losing weight, for the sake of rewriting your life, getting rid of that layer, the distractions. It's kind of like deafening the responses of the universe. And it was just this realization, and this message came to me while I was watching a Broadway show. It was just so funny to me. And I had to share immediately when this happened. I was like, immediately when I realized what I was feeling and realized what I was experiencing, I'm like, no way. This is perfect. This goes hand in hand with a weight loss journey. And I wanted to share this with you because it's such a beautiful example. It's not where you go, it's what you do to get there. What are you learning and discovering along the way? And I promise you, when you get wherever you think you need to be, we are trained as humans to have already thought of the next goal. So even when you're close to hitting your first goal, we've already changed and pushed the dial forward. And so we never actually achieve the thing we keep trying to achieve, do we? Because the ball always rolls forward. And if you are somebody who prides himself in self-reflection and self-growth, then you know this. You know that you always have another goal ready. And sometimes our eyes are set on that new goal already that we forget or we miss that we just hit our old goal. And so if that's kind of the cycle that we are as humans, because it's adapt or die, right? Biologically, on an evolution standpoint, we are meant to keep growing and keep looking forward. Because if you don't grow, you die. Then if that's kind of what we're fighting against, how can we ever be present in the moment? Because why do we want to lose weight? Well, of course, we want to look good. We want to feel good. We want to be healthy. We want to live long. But how is not achieving these things influencing your day-to-day life? Well, maybe you don't walk with your chest and your head as high as you could. Maybe you're not as strong and confident in the workplace. Maybe you don't stick up for yourself at home or with your kids. Maybe you don't wear the clothes that you want, and so you hide your body. And so people judge you, and so they treat you different. And so you walk in the world, you walk along in this world with a mask on, with a disguise on, without knowing who you truly, really are, who the best version of you really is. And so this weight loss journey is about getting to know the real you, because you want to look back on your life and you don't want to have horrible regrets, or you don't want to feel like you're not in touch with everything and everyone around you to some degree. You want to feel connected. Fat on our body is fat in our minds. We are disconnected. Disconnected. And so your weight loss, think about what I'm describing here. Think about what it takes to be a successful actor on Broadway. The grueling hours and practicing, the injuries, the emotions, the late nights, and then you got to wake up and do it again. Do you think they were complaining at the end of it all? Do you think when they were staring, looking out into the audience with tears in their eyes, that they regretted putting in hard work, that they regretted spraining their ankle, pulling their hamstring, only getting 3 hours of sleep one night? Do you think they regretted that? Or do you think that amazing rush of emotions of I did it made all of that rough stuff worth it? All of the tough stuff that nobody wants to do, that everybody wants to skip for some reason. Don't you think it all just makes sense and falls into place? And then don't you think you become grateful for it? Thankful that you went through it? Because it made you tougher, stronger, and it got you here? And if that's true, why do we not take that same mindset and apply it to our weight loss journey? Every time I say I'm going to work out and I don't, what did I learn? I screwed up again. What am I trying to learn? What am I not learning that the universe is trying to tell me because I keep slipping up? Why didn't I stop after that one cookie? Why did I have 6? What is the universe trying to teach me about myself? Why am I so disconnected that I keep repeating the same mistakes? These mistakes are there for a reason, to make your journey worth going on. If it was easy, you wouldn't enjoy it. You would get bored and you would stop. The reason you want the body of your dreams and you want to lose weight is because to reach that point is not average. Look around you the next time you're at a grocery store. Almost everybody is overweight. And I'm not saying this to point anybody out or make anybody feel bad. I'm simply saying, if that is the average, if that is the standard, if you want to be above average, which is having a nice body and actually being healthy, to be above average requires an above average amount of effort. And whenever there's an above average amount of effort, that is new territory. You're not used to being in that territory. And when you're not used to something, guess what? There's also an above average amount of failure, mistakes, obstacles, and challenges you have not yet built up the calluses to understand and tolerate yet. And if you cannot tolerate this, it will seem challenging. It will seem ridiculous. And like, what is the point? When everybody else is happy being average and they are coasting along and they aren't running into the big challenges like you are. They aren't as frustrated as you are because they don't have as big of a goal as you do. So who really has it worse off? Somebody who's complacent and doesn't really have any goals, or their goals are so small they can't help but achieve them? Who's going to have a more fulfilled, satisfying life story to tell? Who's going to be more proud of themselves? Who's going to be a more formidable opponent when life gets tough and life pushes back? You. You. So attack your weight loss journey like you want a good story to tell about it. I would not be here and be able to help so many women if I did not struggle for 20 years with my weight. And do you think during that 20-year struggle that I understood why I was struggling, that I didn't give up, that I just didn't want to do this anymore? Abso-freaking-lutely. But now that I understand and I've made it through the other side, I can tell you, without a doubt, I would not change one single thing. In fact, it makes my story so much more interesting, so much more relatable. And now I can actually have an impact and change the world. You are going through what you are going through because maybe you are going to change the world. All it takes is one person to create a huge ripple effect in your family, at your work, just in society. Energy is real and it grows. And it is felt. And so approach your weight loss journey like you are preparing for a Broadway show. It's a lot of work, a lot of failures, takes a lot of practice. And when you think you're done practicing, you get up and you practice some more. Because there is nowhere we're going. We're all going in the grave anyway. We're all going to end up 6 feet under one day. So why are we rushing to somewhere when we're all going to end up in the same place anyway? Make now, make today exciting and worth being in the present. We cannot rush anywhere. We cannot wait to lose the weight to live our life. We cannot wait to lose the weight to book the vacation, to buy the dress, to do the thing, to book a photo shoot. We have to do those things today, because by doing them today, we are adding in more practice. And the faster we can get our practice in, the faster we can build up our calluses, our mental calluses. And the sooner we can have these let it soak in moments. When's the last time you had a let it soak in moment where you just sat back and observed and said, wow, this is what it's all about. The journey, not the end. Weight loss is a journey to be experienced. If you've been skipping the journey, if you've been rushing the journey, if you've been trying to cheat the journey, you are missing out on experiencing the best that life has to offer. And that's through trials. Through living life not in the comfort zone, not in the easy lane, not in the slow lane. So go walk on your weight loss journey. Walk on your weight loss journey like you're putting on a show. If for nobody else, just for your damn self.